So with your group, your task is to find out as many combinations of chickens and pigs that we can possibly have that give us the total of 22 legs.
Cassie Tobias has been an educator for the better part of 3 decades. She's been teaching 4th graders in this very classroom for the last 20 years. For her, the chance to learn from mathematicians like Graham Fletcher has been a complete game changer.
Where could you record what you just said? So could you start a system, a record? Because you just said something. Like Graham Fletcher said, help them as little as possible just to the edge where they might die. You know, like, don't give them any help. Let them struggle.
Desmond, what? Can I show you what I'm thinking? Yep. So we count by 4.
So the learning thing for me is still like, where do I hone in on my questioning? Where do I back off on my questioning? Where do I let them fall for a little bit before I catch?
You're going to be bringing up even more amazing speakers. And you're going to have an opportunity to hear from all of them. So stay tuned what that looks like.
In kindergarten, this is not a square. This is. Right? Or this is not a triangle in kindergarten. This is.
But the symposium isn't just about bringing in great speakers. Frequency is key.
Like that ripple effect of learning. We have to continue to, like when we start to see those ripples start to fade because it gets further and further away, like we've got to come in there and like drop another stone and create more ripples that just continue that.
Try changing the orientation to where the sides aren't parallel.
One of my best stories about the math symposium thus far, I went over to one of our elementary schools and I walked into a classroom. The elementary school teacher was really excited to show me, like, hey, I'm trying this new thing in my classroom. I learned it in the math symposium. And I said, oh, that's amazing. That's one teacher. So then I walked next door just because I wanted to see what was going on, to see if there was a difference in the 2 classrooms. And the best thing I noticed was the exact same strategy that was used in the math symposium was used with a teacher that wasn't in the math symposium, because they shared that strategy through the PLC process.
And it's not just that the message is spreading, it's a paradigm shift in the way math is taught.
Okay, my challenge for you is to create a rule using algebraic terms that fits every x value.
As a student, Gabby Morris was good at math, so she understands the classic math mindset. That said, one of her takeaways from the symposium is that honest-to-goodness problem solving is about so much more.
And to get them comfortable and willing to think and be okay with me not just saying, yeah, your answer's right, and moving on. And that's what they want to hear, especially a lot of my students who are fast learners and they're really good at math. And I resonate with that, but they want you to just say, your answer's right, your process is right. Like they just want that so bad. And so it's been kind of fun, like teaching them as I learn that like, it's not always about that. Like sometimes I just want to know what you're thinking. How did you get there? So you guys actually had a really similar process to Zyler's team, where you guys did the +0, +1. They did that as well, but came up with 2 rules that worked. I had a student last year that was in intervention for everything. Gotcha. And then she was in a group with a couple of really strong math kids. Mm-hmm. And we were doing this activity with it was fractions, but they didn't know it. It was parts of cakes that were cut in different ways. Sure. And she just basically used her visual perceptions and said, I see this piece. She said, and we had that piece up there, so that means this piece and this piece are the same, which would mean this is this. And the kids in her group just went, and then they called me over and they did something so amazing. They said, Mrs. Tobias, so-and-so just said this and it was brilliant. And you could just see her shoulders go back and her head go up. And for the first time, she wasn't the intervention student in the classroom. She was the brilliant one.
And that's really where you want to get to with math instruction. We want kids to be able to, instead of say, hey, solve this equation, hey, how about we work on this puzzle? How about we work on this problem? Because that's what it's all about, right?
We have a Desmos activity. You need to leave my room today confident. This is your I can't statement. You're going to be able to graph linear equations with accuracy and absolute confidence.
Tyus Archuleta believes the symposium has completely energized the math wing of his high school. But for him, Getting to learn from educators like Andrew Stottle is personal.
It gives you kind of something to look up to. Like when I listen to Stottle and he's saying, I'm still in the classroom after 20 years. You're like, oh, I mean, this guy still enjoys it. This guy is having more fun with it as the time goes by.
Okay, so I point that out for a couple reasons. One, you guys have awful number sense.
And oftentimes we see teachers burn out. And it's like, no, these are educators speaking to us who are very, very, very advanced at their job, but still telling us like there's always room to grow. And you need to try new things, and you need to, like, they're still growing. And so it kind of just gives you something to look at. Like, I want to be like him one day. And I want to have my stuff together as much as that guy has it.
We're inspiring teachers that maybe knew this already, they know this stuff, but we're re-inspiring them to go at it again in their classrooms for their students. And so that it has been just tremendous. It has exceeded our expectations. Again, we just wanted them to learn a thing or two. And now here we are.